Have you ever been in a match? You were leading in the score, but then you started focusing on the score, you got tight, you got anxious, and all of a sudden your performance dropped and you lost to a player that you personally were better than? I used to play so poorly in matches. I would tense up, I would tighten up, and I would lose to weaker players because I didn't know how to think. But see, everything transformed for me when I traveled across the country and learned from legendary master Rick Macci. There, I learned some of the most advanced mindset tips that were used to form 5 world #1 players. And today, I've boiled everything down into 3 simple tips that you can use the next time you step out in a match or playing against a friend that's gonna level up your performance and allow you to play your best tennis when it really counts under those pressure situations. In the first part of this video, I'm gonna teach you how to think before the match. What should you be focusing on? Also, while you get there, you're gonna be in your best, most confident state. In the second section of this video, I'm gonna teach you how should you think on your return to get the most amount of consistency and generate the maximum amount of chance your opponent's gonna miss. In the third section, I'm gonna teach you that on those really important points, exactly how to think and exactly how to use your entire body to maximize the chances of crushing your first serve and winning those easy points. So I'm so thrilled. Let's jump right into that first piece. All right, world-class athlete. So how exactly should you think prior to starting a match or playing any type of competition? The best way to think can be summed up using just one word: clarity. See, by having clarity over how you want to feel, who you want to be, and ultimately what it's going to look like when you're performing at your best is the key to actually achieving it. So in the book, The Life, they account for Michael Jordan's story of how he rose up to become one of the greatest basketball players of all time. And in that book, there's a story of when Michael Jordan was riding on his bus to his college game where he hit the infamous shot, the best shot of his career that kind of sealed the deal for him rising up to becoming a great player. And as he was riding in the bus to his match, he recalls that he was visualizing himself executing that shot. He saw himself with so much clarity of what it would feel like hitting that perfect swoosh. And my challenge to you is, how clear have you been about who you want to be when you perform? Are you clear about what you want to feel like when you hit forehands? Are you clear about what it's going to be like when the ball leaves your strings, over how you're going to see yourself, how your opponent's going to see you? By gaining clarity over all the specific elements associated with what you want, it's much more likely that you're gonna achieve them. See, it's human nature. So many of us, we wanna focus on the problems. Oh, I missed this shot. Oh, I have anxiety. But the key is something I learned from Rick Macci, which is that having the ability to forget is sometimes more important than the ability to remember. What you wanna do going into a match is forget about all the times you've played bad, but rather recast your focus onto the solution. Imagine yourself feeling, what's it gonna feel like when you play your best? What's the ball gonna sound like coming off your strings? What would make you, when you leave the court, feel amazing about yourself? Now, see, by thinking through all these things and visualizing it, when you step out on the court, you're gonna be in a confident state, you're gonna be ready to go, and ultimately, you're gonna be fearless because you'll know that you have a plan and you're ready to show up at your absolute best. So I'm challenging you, before your next match, think through those experiences. Now, let's jump into how you can think while hitting the return. So how exactly should you think when you step up to hit a world-class return? There's 2 primary elements that are gonna give you a tremendous boost and advantage on the return. The first is, especially if you're playing against a good server and they're bombing serves, rather than saying, oh my gosh, their serve's so fast, oh my gosh, can I handle this? Automatically, that's gonna put your mind in an anxious state, which is gonna decrease your reaction speed. So the first and most important element is you wanna imagine and visualize in your mind that no matter how hard they hit the serve, it could be 130 coming off the strings, you've gotta tell yourself the ball's coming slow. The ball's like a giant beach ball. There's no way I'm not gonna be able to make contact. It's gonna be so easy. And by putting yourself in that mindset, you're gonna expect yourself to being able to hit a world-class return. You're gonna expect yourself, it's gonna be easy to make contact. And that is extremely powerful. If you expect good things are so much more likely to come. The second key checkpoint that you wanna focus on is with your contact point on the return. Out of your split step, to either the forehand or the backhand, your primary focal point, rather than really trying to hit the ball, you really wanna focus on just catching the ball and extending your arm through. A key characteristic of a world-class return is the stroke will be shorter, the stroke will be smooth, the contact will be in front, and the arm will extend out through the ball on the follow through. So rather than really trying to hit the ball hard, be more conservative, especially at the beginning of a match where you're getting a feel for it, you're feeling how your game is that day. So the next time you step up, remember those two keys. Number one, the ball's coming slow. Well, before all of that, I'm clear. I wanna be confident. I wanna know I'm playing my best. And if I make a mistake, I'm not gonna beat myself up. I'm just gonna try and focus on being the best I can in the next point. That's the pre-frame. You set up, the ball's coming slow, boom, ball's slow, catch the ball in the strings, extend, I'm in that point. All right, so now you're geared up, you're confident, you've got a solid return strategy. Let's close out with how you can dominate and hit those aces when it really counts. So let's imagine that right now, you're in your next match. You're down 30-40. You're playing against a player you really want to beat. How exactly should you think? And what exactly should you focus on in your body to maximize your first serve percentage and generate the maximum likelihood you're either gonna hit an ace or get a weak reply so you can crush that forehand? The first foundational component that you wanna focus on mentally is, rather than being anxious or focusing on the score, rather transfer all of that energy and become inwardly focused. Feel the sensation in your body, because it's by focusing inwardly on your body, how it feels, that you're gonna be able to maximize and potentially use some of that nervousness to actually channel it into higher performance, more power, and consistency. So with that mindset, now you're transforming anxiety, you're turning it into high performance. Now with your body, the way that you wanna focus, I learned this from Rick Macy, is when you're accelerating, rather than, oh my gosh, I really gotta get this in, tighten up. No, commit, channel the nervous energy into your legs, into your feet, focus on driving your legs, reaching up and making that crystal clean contact right above the body, which by hitting the ball at the highest point, it's gonna maximize that first serve percentage. All right, world-class athlete, I hope you guys absolutely loved this video. If you wanna master that forehand, click here. If you wanna master more on the second serve and the serve, click here. I'll see you in the next video. Let's go.